Hi everybody, this is Richard, and I'm back today with another IELTS sample answer. So, just like we've done in some previous videos, we're going to be looking at a part 2 answer and some part 3 answers. So, let's get to the share screen. Okay, so this is our question for the part 2. We're talking about festivals today. Question 2. Describe a festival that is important in your country. So you should say when the festival occurs, what you did during it, what you like or you dislike about it, and explain why the festival is important. So remember, in the exam, you have about 1 minute to prepare, and then you have 2 minutes, 1 minute and a half to 2 minutes to give your answer. Let's have a look at what I wrote. One of the most British festivals happens on the 5th of November, and it has a couple of different names. Some people call it Bonfire Night, but it can also be called Guy Fawkes Night. Sorry, there should be a possessive on Guy Fawkes because it's named after the guy. Guy Fawkes was a terrorist who tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament to kill the king in the 17th century. He was caught with explosives under the building before he could blow it up. This is actually a true story. Nowadays, people remember this event by building a big bonfire and setting off fireworks. You could do it in your garden, but most towns have an organized fire and fireworks display that you can attend for a small fee. There is also some specific food available for the event, like pea soup and treacle, though I'm not sure why. Perhaps they were Guy's favorite foods. Around this time of year, you see lots of fireworks safety information on TV, as they can be really dangerous if not handled properly. Usually you see some commercials on TV, some safety commercials. Maybe they find a famous footballer from the England football team to give a message because it's especially dangerous for kids, of course. I like this event. It feels uniquely British and something fun to do in the cold months. It wasn't always the case though. When I had a dog, he got really scared by fireworks, so on bonfire night, I would stay in and keep him company. Now, I get a lot of questions from students. When we're talking about animals, do we use he, she, or do we use it? Well, if it really depends if it's my animal. So if I talk about my dog, it has a name, has personality, so I use he or she. But if I'm just talking about any animal that I have no relation to, I would use it. So in this case, I'm saying he got really scared by fireworks because it's my dog and it's a he and it's got a personality and it's close to me. It's part of my family. So if it's close, we use he, she. If not, we just use it. So as you can see in that question, I've talked about what's the significance of it. Terrorists tried to blow up Parliament. What it's called, what people do. People watch fireworks, build a bonfire. People eat pea soup and treacle. And do I like it? Well, I like it because it's good for something to do in the cold months, but I also had this experience when it wasn't my favorite festival because of my dog. So nice, succinct answer. If you do something like that in the part 2, you'll go far. Let's have a look at some of the part 3 questions though, because the part 3 questions are normally connected to the part 2. Now the part 1 questions in the IELTS are just could be about anything. How did you come here today? How long have you been studying English? But the part 3 are normally connected with the part 2. Why do you think festivals are important in the working year? I feel it's important to celebrate festivals, as in many cases, they connect us with our history. They're also fun. It's interesting to note that a lot of festivals in Britain, Guy Fawkes Night, Christmas, Valentine's Day, happen in the winter months. Perhaps they were originally celebrated to give people something nice, to give them a break from the cold, damp weather that you experience in Britain. Damp just means there's lots of water and moisture in the air and it makes you feel cold. Festivals also bring people together, which I feel is important in today's world, where in many ways we are more disconnected than ever. We don't speak to our neighbors and interact with our community like we once did. So perhaps festivals can help our communities. And remember, this document is available. just look in the description of this video. You can find the link to this, so you can go through this document, take some of the good vocabulary you like out of it, take some of the structures you like, and use it for your own preparation. Really, this is why I do these videos, so you can just take from me, just use these resources. Things like YouTube, they're great for stuff like this. Steal as much as you can. Don't try and make things yourself. In fact, I was told about a famous book called Artists Who Steal, and it's a book saying, look, no artist thinks of a new idea. Everybody just copies from other people, even people like Picasso. He didn't invent cubism. Somebody else invented cubism, and then Picasso stole it from him. Think like Picasso, steal from other people, especially me. Let's look at our next question. Would you agree that the original significance of festivals is often lost today? Is it good or bad, do you think? The classic yes and no. Yes and no. This is a good tactic sometimes in the IELTS. So when you're not saying, okay, I don't know, so it's yes and no. Let's have a look at what I wrote. Let's take Christmas, for example. Many people in Britain aren't practicing Christians, but they still celebrate this event. Perhaps the religious significance has been lost somewhat, but the festival is still about showing love to our close friends and family, and the spirit of giving and generosity persists. Whilst not exactly the original message, this is nevertheless a good message to spread, which surely can't be a bad thing. Festivals such as these have adapted to the modern world, which is probably why they are so enduring. They've lasted a long time. And let's have a look at our last question. It's just a quick video today. Do you think it's good or bad to watch festivals on TV? I would say it depends on the festival. I live in Paris, so I can mention a couple that I've experienced. The first one is Fête de la Musique, a street music festival that happens in June. People walk around the city listening to different performers dotted all around. Just means they're kind of everywhere in the city on different streets. Watching on television doesn't really do the festival justice. What I mean by that, something doesn't do it justice. I mean, you have to be there. You have to really kind of, you have to experience it. I could talk about, imagine there's a great book and then there's a film of the book. And if I watch the film and it's not very good, I could say, well, the film, it doesn't really do the book justice. I'm saying the book's much better. It's much more descriptive. It's much more detailed. There's much more stories in it. And then the film, they cut lots of things out. Maybe the actors weren't so great. The scenery wasn't as good as the one I imagined in my mind when I read the book. So the film doesn't do the book justice, just like watching Fête de la Musique on television doesn't do it justice to how good it is when you're actually on the streets and listening to the music and watching the performers. Another is the famous Bastille Day on the 14th of July. There is a huge light and fireworks show on the Eiffel Tower in the evening. There actually is. You should go on YouTube and watch it after you've watched this video. I went to watch it one year, and I can say it's better to watch on TV. You have to get there really early to get a place, and it's difficult to get a good view. It takes forever to get home afterwards. It's much more preferable to have some friends around and watch it on TV. Maybe go and watch it once, but not every year. So as you can see, we've got some really good structures there in that part 2 and those part 3 questions. So try and use this in your preparation. This is a standard. This is what they're looking for when you're answering. But remember, the most important things are be confident, smile. Don't expect to answer every question perfectly. They don't want a perfect answer from you in terms of answering the question. They want to see how well you can use English and how adaptable you are. So try and take some of that, try and use it in your future practice. If you've got any questions or you want to test out any structures, write them down in the comments. I will check them for you. And remember, that document is available. Check out the description of this video. You can find the link to check that out. I hope that helps. Good studying, good learning. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.